What if the very first moments of your day were silently shaping your spiritual destiny? Picture this: each sunrise, the heavens open, and a divine opportunity is handed to you, an invitation to align your actions with eternal purpose. Yet, most people stumble blindly into their mornings, clutching distractions, neglecting sacred priorities, and unknowingly stepping out of favor with God. The morning, a sacred gate to the day ahead, becomes clouded by habits that dishonor Him, erecting walls where bridges should be built. This truth is rarely spoken, yet it echoes across time, a call from the divine. Every sunrise carries whispers of purpose, a reminder of the sacred covenant that binds us to a higher calling. To ignore these whispers is to reject the privilege of communion with God, to sever the tether to the very essence of our existence. But herein lies the revelation: not only do the habits we cling to have the power to dishonor God, but their grip on us is stronger than we realize. What we tolerate in the stillness of morning has the potential to define the trajectory of our spiritual walk. These habits are not merely mundane, they are profound crossroads where allegiance is tested. For decades, these habits have thrived in silence, hidden behind the guise of routine and the false comfort of modern life. Most people do not recognize them for what they are: subtle acts of rebellion that grieve the heart of God. But the time has come to expose them, to pull back the veil and confront what lies beneath. This is not merely a matter of self-improvement, it is a call to arms, a spiritual awakening that begins with the choices you make as dawn breaks. And in this unveiling, you will discover practices that restore the bond between your soul and its Creator. Imagine, for a moment, the sheer weight of eternity hanging on the thread of a single decision. When the alarm sounds, your spirit rises, yearning for connection, for purpose. Yet, if neglected, the opportunity dissolves into the ordinary. The Creator Himself awaits, yet you turn to distractions, to fleeting comforts, and the chorus of divine purpose grows faint. How many days have begun with this quiet betrayal? The truth is, the morning is not yours to waste. It belongs to the one who entrusted you with breath, life, and purpose. And now, more than ever, the heavens are calling for change. If you've ever felt the ache of spiritual stagnation or the weight of missed opportunities, you are not alone. These habits are not new, nor are they unique to you. They are ancient pitfalls, cunningly disguised to blend into the routine of life. But here, today, we will uncover them together. You are not reading this by chance. This is your moment to reclaim the sacred, to realign with the divine rhythm that has been etched into the fabric of creation. Together, we will explore the morning habits that displease God and the practices that honor Him. Before we proceed, I want to extend a profound thank you to this community. Your unwavering support, through your presence, prayers, and contributions, allows messages like these to reach souls worldwide. You are a part of this mission, a vital link in the chain of spiritual awakening that is unfolding. Your generosity fuels this work, and for that, I am eternally grateful. The path ahead will not merely reveal the habits that distance us from God, but will illuminate the alternative, a morning routine that honors Him, strengthens your spiritual connection, and sets the tone for a life of purpose. Each step we take will unravel the mystery of why these habits matter, why they hold such sway over our lives, and how breaking free from them can unleash a profound transformation. You may feel a stirring within your spirit even now, a sense of urgency to break free from the chains of complacency. This is not merely an emotional response, it is a divine prompting, a voice from the depths of eternity urging you forward. Do not ignore it. You are being called to something greater, a life that transcends the mundane and embraces the sacred. This journey is not easy, but it is necessary, for the stakes are eternal, and the rewards are beyond comprehension. With each passing paragraph, a picture will emerge, a vision of a life lived in harmony with God, where every morning becomes an altar, every decision an offering, and every action a step closer to your divine destiny. The habits we will explore are not merely bad, they are barriers to the fullness of God's blessing. But their grip can be broken, their power dismantled, through the practices we will uncover together. Now, let us begin this sacred unveiling. We will first confront the habit of neglecting prayer, the silent rejection of communion with the Creator. With this, the foundation of a transformative morning routine will be laid. What comes next will not only challenge you but will redefine the way you approach the dawn. The heavens are watching, and the time for change is now. Habit 1. Without prayer. Each morning, as light pierces the horizon, it brings with it an invitation, a divine summoning to communion. Yet, how often is this sacred moment ignored? The failure to begin the day in prayer is not merely a missed opportunity but a profound act of neglect. Prayer is not a ritual of obligation but a lifeline, a connection to the Creator who sustains all things. Without it, the soul falters, drifting aimlessly through the day without direction or purpose. Proverbs 3 verse 6 reminds us, "In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths." The absence of prayer is, therefore, an act of self-reliance, a declaration that our wisdom is sufficient to navigate life's complexities. But can any mortal claim such sufficiency? Each day brings challenges, temptations, and decisions that ripple into eternity. To face these without seeking God's guidance is to walk a perilous road, blind to the dangers ahead. In prayer, we align our will with His, surrendering our plans, our fears, and our desires to the One who sees the end from the beginning. Without this act of submission, the heart becomes a battlefield of conflicting motives, and the mind succumbs to the chaos of worldly distractions. Prayer centers us, grounding our spirit in eternal truth and infusing our actions with divine purpose. Many dismiss prayer as unnecessary or ineffective, yet history and scripture tell a different story. Consider Daniel, whose unwavering commitment to prayer sustained him even in the lion's den. His morning communion with God was not an option, it was the foundation of his faith and strength. What would your day look like if it began with such fervor, such devotion? The morning is a battleground, and prayer is your weapon. Without it, the forces of distraction, doubt, and despair encroach upon the sacred space of your soul. Every moment spent in prayer fortifies you, reminding you of your identity as one of God's chosen. You are not merely surviving each day, you are called to thrive, to rise above, to walk boldly in your purpose. If you've ever felt the weight of the day before it even begins, consider this: the absence of prayer leaves you spiritually unarmed. It is not the noise of the world that overwhelms, but the silence of your spirit when it fails to commune with its Creator. Through prayer, you invite the peace of God to dwell within you, transforming anxiety into assurance and fear into faith. Prayer is not confined to words. It is an act of surrender, a posture of humility before the throne of grace. It is in these quiet moments that the heavens open, and the wisdom of God flows into the depths of your soul. Can you afford to miss this? Each day you neglect prayer is a day lived beneath your potential, a day where the divine whispers go unheard. Do not let the busyness of life rob you of this sacred communion. Whether in the stillness of dawn or amidst the hum of morning routines, carve out time to pray. Begin with gratitude, for gratitude unlocks the gates of heaven. Offer your plans, your struggles, and your hopes to God, and watch as His peace surpasses all understanding. Imagine what could change in your life if prayer became your first instinct, your unshakable habit. Relationships could mend, decisions gain clarity, and your sense of purpose grow sharper. But more than these, your bond with God would deepen, anchoring you in the storm and guiding you through the unknown. As the dawn of tomorrow approaches, resolve this: that no morning will pass without prayer. Let this be the cornerstone of your routine, the practice that transforms your day and your life. With prayer, you will rise not as one burdened by the day's demands, but as one equipped, empowered, and aligned with the will of the Almighty. Habit 2. Complaining and negativity. Each word that escapes your lips carries power, power to build or to destroy, to honor or to dishonor. Yet, how often do mornings begin with complaints, murmurs of dissatisfaction that ripple into the spiritual realm, sowing seeds of discord? This habit, so subtle yet so destructive, creates a wall between your soul and the blessings God has prepared for you. Complaining is not harmless. It is an act of rebellion, a denial of gratitude, and an affront to the Creator who supplies all our needs. Philippians 2 verse 14 exhorts us to do all things without grumbling or disputing, and yet, how frequently is this command neglected? The first thoughts of the day often drift toward what is lacking, what went wrong, or what lies ahead that seems too difficult. These thoughts, left unchecked, spill into words, shaping the atmosphere not only of your day but of your spirit. Complaints are not just expressions, they are declarations of disbelief in God's providence. Negativity corrodes the heart, dimming the light of faith and extinguishing the flames of joy. It is a thief, stealing the peace that God has promised to those who trust in Him. A complaining spirit is blind to blessings, focusing instead on fleeting discomforts and temporary trials. Each complaint is a missed opportunity to praise, to reflect on the goodness of God, and to honor Him with thanksgiving. If you find yourself prone to complaining, consider this: every moment spent lamenting is a moment forfeited to glorify God. Instead of focusing on what you lack, reflect on what you have: life, breath, and the promise of His unwavering presence. Gratitude is the antidote to negativity, a shield that guards the heart and renews the mind. When you choose gratitude, you align yourself with the divine rhythm of abundance and trust. But why is complaining so easy? It thrives on the illusion of control, the belief that life should conform to our expectations. When it doesn't, we grumble. Yet, as chosen ones, we are called to a higher perspective, to trust in God's sovereignty even when circumstances seem unfavorable. Complaining is, at its core, a refusal to acknowledge that His ways are higher than ours, His plans far beyond our comprehension. Reflect on the Israelites in the wilderness, whose constant murmuring kept them from the promised land. What promises of God have you delayed or forfeited because of a complaining heart? Negativity chains you to the past and blinds you to the future. It denies the truth of Romans 8 verse 28, that all things work together for good for those who love God. To break free from this habit, begin each morning with intentional gratitude. Speak blessings instead of curses, praise instead of complaints. A simple prayer of thanks can transform your outlook, turning your focus away from what is wrong and toward the one who makes all things right. Gratitude is not merely a practice, it is a declaration of faith, a weapon against the enemy's schemes to rob you of joy. Negativity thrives in the absence of hope, but as a child of God, hope is your inheritance. Do not let the weight of yesterday or the uncertainties of tomorrow overshadow the truth of today, that God is with you, working in ways you cannot yet see. Each time you choose gratitude over grumbling, you testify to this truth and honor the one who sustains you. Imagine waking up with a heart so full of thanksgiving that complaints have no room to dwell. This is not just an aspiration, it is your calling as one of God's chosen. Let your words be a reflection of His goodness, a light in the darkness that inspires others to do the same. In doing so, you transform not only your own life but the lives of those around you. As the morning sun rises tomorrow, resolve to silence the voice of negativity within you. Let gratitude flow from your lips as a song of praise to the Creator. For when you do, the heavens take notice, and your spirit is lifted to a place of peace, joy, and divine favor. Habit 3. Ignoring the Scriptures. In the stillness of morning, as your spirit awakens, there lies an opportunity so profound that it often goes unnoticed. The Word of God waits, alive, powerful, and ready to transform. But how many begin their day without it? Ignoring the Scriptures is more than neglect. It is a forfeiture of divine wisdom, a rejection of spiritual nourishment that sustains and strengthens the soul. To bypass the Word is to choose spiritual famine over abundance, wandering aimlessly when the map to your destiny lies open before you. Matthew 4 verse 4 reminds us, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds from the mouth of God." Just as the body craves food for strength, the soul hungers for truth. Yet, many rush into their day, feeding their schedules, their worries, and their ambitions, but leaving their spirits malnourished. Without the Scriptures, the soul is vulnerable, left unguarded against the trials and temptations that inevitably come. To ignore the Bible in the morning is to face the day unarmed. The Word is described as a sword in Ephesians 6 verse 17, a weapon designed to cut through deception and fortify the believer. Without it, the battles of the day become overwhelming, and the whispers of doubt and fear grow louder. The enemy delights in an unarmed soul, for it is easily swayed and defeated. Many justify this neglect with excuses: lack of time, distractions, or the belief that reading later will suffice. But the morning is sacred. It sets the tone for the hours ahead. When you prioritize God's word at the start, you align your thoughts with His, allowing His truth to shape your decisions, your actions, and your heart. Ignoring the scriptures is not a neutral act. It is a missed opportunity to walk in divine power and purpose. The scriptures are not mere text. They are alive, breathing life into the weary and guidance into the lost. Each verse carries the wisdom of eternity, the promises of God, and the assurance of His love. To open the Bible is to invite the presence of the Almighty into your day, to hear His voice and to walk in step with His Spirit. Can you afford to ignore this gift? Consider how even a single verse can transform your day. Psalm 119 verse 105 declares, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." A single moment spent in the Word can illuminate your journey, bringing clarity where there was confusion and peace where there was chaos. Without it, you stumble in darkness, relying on your own limited understanding. Imagine the transformation that could occur if every morning began with the Scriptures. The frustrations of the day would no longer control you, for your mind would be anchored in truth. The Word equips you with wisdom, guards your heart against negativity, and reminds you of your identity as a child of God. To neglect it is to leave these treasures untouched, gathering dust while your soul hungers. In the Scriptures, you will find not only answers but also the presence of the one who wrote them. It is in this sacred communion that your spirit is renewed, your faith strengthened, and your purpose clarified. To read the Bible is not an obligation. It is an act of worship, a declaration that God's voice is the one you prioritize above all others. Perhaps you feel distant from the Word, unsure of where to begin. Start small, but start now. Open to a psalm, a proverb, or the teachings of Christ. Let the Word speak to you in its simplicity and power. The more you engage with it, the more it will transform your heart and mind, drawing you closer to the one who breathed it into existence. Tomorrow, when the first rays of light enter your room, reach for the Scriptures before anything else. Let His word be the foundation upon which your day is built. For in doing so, you will find strength, wisdom, and the joy of walking in alignment with your Creator. This is not just a habit. It is a lifeline, a sacred practice that will shape your eternity. Habit 4. Prioritizing yourself above God. In the still moments before the day begins, choices are made, choices that reveal where your heart truly resides. To prioritize yourself above God is not a conscious rebellion for many. It is a quiet drift, a series of small decisions that place personal desires, tasks, or comforts on the throne where only God belongs. This habit, though subtle, is deeply offensive to the Creator who calls us to seek Him first in all things. Matthew 6 verse 33 commands, "Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." Yet, how often is this principle reversed? The demands of the day clamor for attention, and the mind turns to personal goals, schedules, and ambitions before offering even a moment of devotion to the one who holds time and eternity. To place oneself at the center is to reject the divine order, where God reigns supreme. Self-prioritization can appear in many forms: the compulsive need to check your phone before praying, the rush to complete tasks without acknowledging God, or even the refusal to surrender plans to His will. These actions, though seemingly harmless, echo the original sin in the garden, a desire to elevate oneself above the Creator's authority. This habit creates a chasm between you and God, for where self reigns, there is no room for His sovereignty. The human heart was not designed to bear the weight of being its own master. It is in submission to God that we find true freedom, yet self-prioritization binds us, enslaving us to worry, pride, and an unquenchable thirst for control. To prioritize God is not to neglect yourself. Rather, it is to align your desires with His perfect will. When God is first, everything else falls into place. But when the self is exalted, chaos follows. The day becomes fraught with frustration, missteps, and a lingering emptiness that no amount of achievement can fill. Consider how Christ, though divine, modeled submission to the Father. In John 5 verse 30, He declares, "I can do nothing on my own. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just because I seek not my own will but the will of him who sent me. If the Son of God himself sought the Father's will above all, how much more should we? To begin your day without acknowledging God is to step into it without guidance, direction, or the assurance of his presence. This habit is insidious because it often masquerades as productivity or self-care. But true productivity is found in partnership with God, and true self-care begins with surrendering to the one who cares for your soul. When you place God first, you are not losing control. You are entrusting your life to the Creator who knows the end from the beginning. Breaking this habit requires intentionality. Start each day with a declaration of his lordship over your life. Before you reach for the to-do list, kneel in prayer. Before you fill your mind with the concerns of the world, fill it with his word. This is not merely a practice but an act of worship, a daily reminder that he is God and you are his. Imagine the transformation that occurs when God is truly first in your life. Stress diminishes, for your trust is in his provision. Peace abounds, for your heart is aligned with his will. And purpose emerges, for you walk not in your plans but in his divine design. This is the life you were created for, a life centered on God, not self. As you rise tomorrow, let this truth guide you. The morning belongs to God, not to you. Surrender your plans, your worries, and your desires to him. Make him the first thought in your mind, the first word on your lips, and the first priority of your heart. In doing so, you honor the one who gave you this day, and you step into it equipped with his peace, power, and purpose. Every sunrise is a gift, a divine invitation to step into a day filled with purpose, power, and alignment with God's will. Yet, how you respond to this invitation determines the course of not only your day but your spiritual journey. The habits we've unveiled, neglecting prayer, embracing negativity, ignoring the scriptures, and prioritizing yourself above God, are more than just oversights. They are barriers that hinder the fullness of God's blessings and the depth of your connection with him. But the beauty of grace lies in this: change is always within reach. Habits are powerful forces, shaping the trajectory of your life in ways often unseen. But the truth is, they do not define you. As one of God's chosen, you possess the ability to break free from cycles that dishonor him and to replace them with practices that glorify his name. This is not a call to perfection but to progression, to daily steps toward a life that reflects his light. Each morning offers a fresh opportunity to choose differently, to choose wisely, and to choose him. Imagine a life where your mornings are transformed into sacred rituals, where the first words from your lips are prayers of gratitude, the first thoughts in your mind are grounded in his word, and the first actions of your day are aligned with his purpose. This is not merely an ideal, it is your inheritance as a child of God. Such mornings set the tone for days filled with peace, clarity, and unwavering faith. The habits you cultivate now will echo into eternity. When you choose prayer, you align your spirit with the Creator. When you replace complaints with gratitude, you open the door to his blessings. When you feast on his word, you equip yourself with wisdom and strength. And when you prioritize him above all else, you declare his lordship over every aspect of your life. These choices, though small, carry the weight of eternal significance. But change requires action. Awareness alone is not enough. It is time to take what you have learned and apply it. Begin by examining your mornings with honesty. Identify the habits that have taken root and ask yourself, do they honor God? Do they align with the calling he has placed on your life? If not, resolve today to replace them with practices that draw you closer to him. Remember, transformation is not instant. It is a journey. There will be days of struggle, moments when old habits resurface. But do not let these discourage you. The strength to change does not come from within, it comes from him. Philippians 4 verse 13 assures us, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Lean on him in your weakness, and he will guide you to victory. This journey is not one you take alone. You are part of a greater community, a spiritual family bound by the same faith, the same struggles, and the same hope. As you take these steps toward transformation, know that others walk with you, and their prayers and encouragement are with you. Together, we can cultivate mornings that honor God and lives that reflect His glory. What we have explored here is not just about mornings, it is about your life as a whole. The habits you choose today will shape the person you become tomorrow. Do not underestimate the power of small changes. The ripple effects of aligning your mornings with God's can transform not only your life but also the lives of those around you. Now is the time to act. Do not let another day slip by without making the commitment to honor God with your mornings. Start today. Open your heart in prayer. Speak words of gratitude. Dive into His Word. Place Him above all else. These simple steps can lead to profound changes, unlocking blessings and spiritual growth that you cannot yet imagine. As you move forward, carry this truth in your heart. You are called, chosen, and empowered to live a life that glorifies God. Each morning is an opportunity to rise and reflect His light. Embrace this calling with boldness, and let your mornings become a testament to His greatness. If this message has inspired you, don't stop here. Take the next step. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Share this message with someone who needs to hear it today, and let us continue growing together in faith. Until next time, stay blessed.